everyone. Welcome to this episode of Unraveling the Veil with your host, Yara Rose, also known as Katie Mosier from the YaraRose.com website. That is YARAROSE.com. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited for you to be back for another episode with me. Today, I feel like the content is going to be more about self-empowerment, about believing in yourself and who you are. And as usual, I asked Spirit what message they really wanted to send to you all today. And I drew the elk, the vulture, the whale, and the turtle. In this particular deck, the elk is about being stable, being the masculine energy, that father, supportive, stability, being fully respected in who you are, knowing your values, and being known for acting in ways that uphold those values. The vulture in this deck is known as being the guardian and purifier, essential for rebalance. The card in this deck speaks to how the vulture is often misunderstood and how a lot of people view it as this gross, disgusting bird, but it actually does so much for our ecosystem by purifying and preventing the spread of disease. It does the dirty work that no one wants to do. So at the very end of the guidebook, it says, remember, the vulture is greatly undervalued, and what you thought was a mistake or tragedy is a blessing in disguise. The whale in this deck is about delving deeper. It's about peace, ancient wisdom. It's honestly about balance. I feel like it's about when you've done the deep work, you've delved deeper, you know who you are, you know how to handle the emotional expression of yourself and navigating through that and still being stable and known for your ability to be that lighthouse in the dark, known to be that leader no matter what's going on. You have come to a place where you know how to balance yourself. So it doesn't matter if it's bad or good. Extremes, people can rely on you to be the stable one in the group, the one that will be able to guide them through whatever it is that's going on with them. And the turtle in this deck is about being grounded, which I guess is similar to the whale because it's about being able to handle the deeper truths in life and being able to do that no matter where you go, no matter what your external circumstances are. It does seem like the turtle and the whale are very similar. I believe the reason that Spirit sent both of them out to be shared with you is because once you have reached the elk energy, you have a sense of who you are. You know your values. You want to always act in that way. And then things happen that disturb that inner balance, and we'll call those these disasters, right? The vulture disasters. These things that we didn't anticipate, these things that we didn't want or expect. And then you have to navigate back through that vulture experience to the whale where you have been stable, felt like you knew what was going on. All of a sudden something came in, disturbed you, and you have to be able to navigate yourself through that emotional expression back down to even keel balance. And once you have done that over and over and over again, you know how to do it. And then that's where the turtle comes in, because the turtle is about being able to do it in different environments, being able to replicate it over and over and over again. And once you're able to do that, I'm going to read the whole message of the turtle message because I feel like all of it kind of ties everything together about what I just said. It says, it is wonderful to be in the presence of a turtle personality. The turtle has a strong relationship with the earth and water elements simultaneously. This helps to ground and connect them to the deeper truths of life, no matter where their travels lead them. Turtle energy is behind all great writers and storytellers as they collect life experiences under their shells for later use. The most potent turtle energy helps us close the other book and begin tell our own true tale. So once you have navigated through that turbulence, found your emotional expression, have been able to replicate it over and over and over again, no matter where you are in the world, you feel finally like you've reached this place where you feel like you can be the one to tell your story and help inspire others. You've went through this whole progression in your life where first you needed to figure out who you were. And then sometimes while you're figuring out who you are, things happen to you. And sometimes we look at those as negative things. They can be perceived as, I don't understand, Spirit, why this happened when I was working so hard to become the best version of me. It feels sometimes like we are being punished for doing that inner work. But I'm going to ask you to pause for a minute and think, because as we discussed in our last podcast episode, number 36, sometimes the things that we think are punishments are actually being brought forth into our consciousness so that we can understand that there's still a belief, a structure, a pattern, a habit, something there that needs to be altered, released, and replaced, something like that will set us up to be able to be that stable, strong foundation again. It will be an improved version of us, one that is better able to navigate the different terrains, navigate the different emotional ups and downs. And it's not that there's anything wrong with you the way that you are. It's simply that there may be a belief in your system right now that is in direct contrast with the life you are trying to create. And Spirit and yourself, your higher self, wants you to be aware of that so that way you can let it go, because they don't want you to get to this point in life. They try, I should say, really hard to not let you get to this point in life where you really, 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 really want something, but you cannot seem to get it no matter what you do. They do try to avoid those deficits whenever possible. But again, we all have free will, and sometimes we do get to those points because we weren't paying attention or we didn't realize, or, all of these different things. So they try to bring these things up, and yourself tries to bring these things up. And sometimes they reveal themselves to you in dreams. I've had a lot of that lately where I am struggling with trying to achieve something, and then I'll have a couple dreams. And then when I journal about the dreams, I see and understand that it's like, oh, here's where my unconscious mind is holding on to this belief, which is direct contrast to what I am saying I want. So then I have to do some belief cleanup and work. And where did this belief originate? Is it still serving me? If it's not serving me, then it would be in my best interest to let it go. What can I do to let it go? There are techniques. You can write it down and burn it to release that energy. You can just let it go. You can simply visualize this belief being there and then let it go. It's like offer it up to Spirit and say, Spirit, I no longer want this belief. It is no longer in my highest interest. Send it love. Because no matter what your beliefs are, at one point in time, they were there to serve you. They were a foundation to help you, to prevent you from being harmed or injured or whatever. So at some point, this belief, whatever it is that you're letting go of, it was beneficial to you. So you always want to send it with love and grace and thank it for serving you while it was serving you. I want to share two of the cards that were in my card messages today, because I feel like they are relevant to this message of really finding who you are and curating yourself to the strongest version of yourself so you can continue living and expanding and becoming that beacon of light that you want to be. Because whether you want to speak out in life and be a leader, or simply to enjoy the life that you have to the most, whether that's being in the background or not, I believe that every single one of us wants to shine in our authenticity. And that's part of our personal expansion, is releasing those things that no longer serve us and moving forward towards the things that we desire the most in our life. And how can we do that? And one of the cards I received today was about having faith during all of these different trials and tribulations, that there is a reason that they are coming and that you are strong enough, you are resilient enough, you are courageous enough, you are powerful enough to be able to handle anything that comes your way. And that's something that Spirit always wants you to know, is that no matter how dark things can get sometimes, no matter how lost we can get in our own mind and our own thoughts, there's always extra love and support for you available. You just may not feel it because of how lost you are. But it doesn't matter how many rabbit holes you fall into. If you remember that everything is transient, energy moves and goes with the flow, there will always be a day when that rabbit hole will close and you will come out the other side. As long as you have faith in that non-physical, it makes it so much easier for you to realize that this situation that you're in is only temporary, and that you can get through it, and that you will get through it, and you're not going through it alone. You never have to go through anything alone. They're always there with you. And the second card that I got today that I feel like is so important to this message is the Hierophant. And in this particular card deck, it talks about being your own master. And it talks about how there are all these amazing leaders out there in the world. There's all these gurus and these experts and these pros that have all of these amazing perspectives. And I know I've talked to you about this before, but I just want to reiterate that none of them are you. None of them have experienced life the exact same way you have. We are all as unique as our fingerprints. And I think it's so important to figure out who you are. Who you are. You listening right now. Who are you? Have you become the turtle yet? Do you know who you are? Do you know how to navigate every situation that comes your way? Are you confident and in love with yourself yet? Because every single one of us can get to that point where we love ourselves, where we believe in ourselves enough to be confident that we are doing the best that we can. No, none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes, but we're doing the best that we can. And every single time we're given an option to move forward or backwards, we're trying to be aware of which way to go. We're trying to be aware of the best decision for us in that moment. And when we fall, when we choose the wrong path, we forgive ourselves and we move on, because no matter what, we have learned something. And we take that lesson, we add it to our wisdom belt, and we move on. And the next time we have that extra wisdom that we didn't have before. You are your own guru. And this is where I'm always so careful as an intuitive reader, is I never want any of my clients to think that I know more about them than they do, because they are who they are. It's their life and they get to choose who they want to be. So my goal as their intuitive reader is to reinforce and validate the experiences that they've had, and that they are on track, and that they are receiving Spirit's messages, and that they know what they're doing, and they just need that little extra, yep, that's right. And it's not even that's right. I don't even want to say that. It's not right. It's just maybe they're going through something and I say, oh, I'm feeling this. And they go, oh my gosh, that's crazy. I just saw that come up on my Facebook feed yesterday, something that said this, and it was so similar. That's a validation. That's how Spirit validates things. It's how they validate that you are in alignment with your life decisions, with your goals, with your desires, with your dreams. That's all I'm doing. I'm reading the energy. I'm having Spirit tell me what I need to tell you, so that way you know that you're on track, or when it would be in your best interest to make adjustments. I never, ever would ever want to get to the point where anyone in my clientele would think that they need me to make their decisions, because you don't. Every single one of you has the power within you to know what the right thing to do is, what the right path is for you. No one can tell you that. I don't care how many years of school they have under their belt. I don't care how many degrees they have under their belt. I don't care. They can't tell you how to live your life. You're unique. You know in your heart of hearts what's right for you, what path you want to take. And no one can tell you that. You are all so special. You are. You're so special. And I think sometimes we get swayed by other people's beliefs in us, or other people's expectations for us, and other people's opinions of us. And sometimes that's some of the noise that the vulture needs to clear away, because we start wondering, well, is that how I'm supposed to live? Is that right for me? I don't know. I thought I knew, but maybe I don't know. But even in that, even in those times, as we navigate through that situation, as gross and yucky feeling as it can be sometimes, we're learning who we are, because we can feel when something just does not feel right for us, if that's just not the right decision. Even if everyone around you is telling you that's the right decision, if it does not feel right in your heart, if it feels heavy, or if it feels like you're doing something out of obligation, or if you're shamed into doing something, it's not the right move for you in that context. Now, that's not to say that you can't sit with something for a little bit and see if there's a way that maybe you were just perceiving it as wrong because of how you were looking at it. And maybe once you shift the perspective a little bit around it, you may actually feel light about that decision. But even in that moment, it's you integrating with yourself, sitting with your heart and determining, is this decision right for me or not? That's you. You are your own leader. You are your own guru. No one else can be that for you. And if they say they can, they're mistaken. And it's kind of funny that I'm saying that all right now, because this week Spirit sent me this song, which they've been doing actually every week. So it's kind of interesting to see what the week theme is. But they'll send me a song that I will wake up with specific lyrics in my head. And then I usually have to go Google those lyrics and try to find the song that was in my head because I don't know what they are. I'm not very good at that. That's definitely not a strength of mine. But the song they sent me this week was Wake Me Up, song by Avicii, and I probably said that name wrong. I don't know this band or this group. I don't know them very well. But here's some of the lyrics that I want you to hear. It says, feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. I can't tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start. They tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up in a dream. Well, life will pass me by if I don't open my eyes. Well, that's fine by me. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself and I didn't know I was lost. And it goes on, different lyrics and stuff. But I kept thinking, do I want to share this with my listeners this week? Because I'm so drawn to it. And I have this interpretation of what it is, but I wonder what it's really saying, because at different points throughout the week, I've been like, oh, I think it's saying that, this person is oblivious to reality and they don't want to live reality. So they just want to keep their eyes closed until it's all over because they can't handle it. But then there's this overwhelming theme where it's like, no, they do know what their reality is. But all these people in the external world are telling them that isn't reality and that they need to wake up and they need to experience the real reality. And this person's like, no, I am experiencing my version of reality. And if that's not the same thing that you guys are doing, that's fine. I'll just sleep through my life. And then when everything's over, you can wake me up, because they're so enjoying their version of reality that they don't need to or feel pressured to live the reality that everyone around them is living. And to me, that's so important, because there's so many people in our lives that tell us one thing or try to hold us back from trying new things because they're scared of what may happen to us. And I think that's where this concept of what's right for you is so important. This person is like, I will sleep through my whole life if you're telling me that I'm sleeping right now and this is my reality, because I am so happy and caught up in my reality and I love it and it's working for me, that I'll sleep through my whole life then, because this is great. I don't feel the need to live the reality that you are impressing upon me. I am perfectly content to, quote unquote, sleep through my life and live the reality that I am living, because it's wonderful and I enjoy it and I love it. And I love this message because it speaks so much to living your life on your terms, finding your personal passions and exploring and your adventures that are only yours and unique to you. And it speaks to being authentic and caring more about I don't care about how I say that. It's not that you don't care about other people's opinions. It's simply that you are so elk energy strong in who you are, who you know yourself to be, that you're not willing to camouflage yourself or dumb yourself down or dim your light to make them feel better or to make them feel like you fit in with them better. You are shining brightly in your authenticity. You are loving your life, and you're willing to continue doing that regardless of what the pressures are around you for you to fit in. And I love that. And I think everyone would benefit from living their lives more like this. Funny part is, I'm like, there's so many mixed views out there about what the song is about, and I don't even know if I should share them on podcast, because what if I'm misinterpreting it? What if someone's perception of the song is totally different than mine? What if they think I'm this clueless person? And then I am like, seriously? You're not going to share your perception of a song that Spirit sent you this week because you're scared of what your listeners may think? You're scared of being judged? You're scared they're going to look at you as someone that's stupid? Think about that. You're seriously not going to share your perception of something because of fear of how others may or may not perceive it. Is that how you want to live your life? And it's like full circle. Of course, I don't want to live my life like that. You don't have to believe me. I've said that in every single one of my podcasts. You do not have to believe me. You do not have to subscribe to my programming. But that's what I think. And that's what makes me feel light. And that's why that song is bouncing through my head every single day, all day long for this week. It'll be a different one next week. Spirit's lovely that way. But it was just so full circle with the message that they gave me of the elk and the vulture and the whale and the turtle. Because we are all on these personal missions to become the best versions of ourselves and enjoy our lives and live these amazingly beautiful, abundant life. And none of us are going to have lives that look like anyone else's. We're not the same. We're so different. We all have different belief systems. We have different energies. We came here with different purposes. It's been interesting because the last couple of weeks, spirits really showed me these different people living these different lives, but they're so enthusiastic about it. I get in this moment where I'm like, you're really that passionate about, I don't know, changing a car tire? You're really that passionate about fixing this error? You're really that passionate? Like, that is so awesome. Awesome. Like, I do not have that level of enthusiasm for whatever you're doing right now, but I see that. I love that. And I wish everyone in the entire world felt that way about their job. And I don't care what job it is. I don't care what you're doing. But if you had the ability to have that love and passion and that vibrancy for whatever it is you're doing every day, I think this whole world would be so much happier. Like, I think this whole world would just vibrate so much higher because we're all doing what we love. We're all following our dreams. We're all making it happen. And we're all expressing ourselves in this most beautiful, wonderful authenticity. And it's amazing when someone does that. I love being in environments where somebody is just thriving and they could be doing anything. They could be doing the mail. They could be entering things on spreadsheets. They could be stacking things that came in the warehouse. They could be bottling pop. They could be playing sports. They could, whatever it is, it's their passion and they love it. And that's amazing. And I see that. I recognize that. I love it. And I want everyone to know that they can do that for themselves. They can live the life of their dreams, whatever the life of their dreams is. And I want you to be strong. And I want you to know that whatever that life is, you're never on your own navigating your way to it. There's signs from your non-physical friends. There's signs from your higher self. There's feelings within your heart that let you know if you're on the path that you want most or not. But no matter which path you're on, you are progressing. And I love you all and I want the best for you. So I really hope that this message today helps you to make your life the most beautiful, wonderful, fantastic life that it can be. Thanks for tuning in. I love you all and I wish you the most love, light, and inspiration. With all of my love, Yara Rose.